Alright, sorry about that bumpy morning, but here we are racing at Las Vegas Speedway in the Bonfire Premier Cup Series. Pim wasn't feeling good and Peter was unavailable this morning, so you guys are stuck with me for the morning. So it's just me today, and we're going to be rocking this broadcast. Right now, Joey Stiers in the number 23 Chevrolet leading the field as we have done 3 laps of racing here at Las Vegas. Behind Joey is the 9 car of David Medina, along with uh, the 929 of Justin Harris. Top 3 trying to get away, followed by the 934 of Keith Fallon, and then Brandon Shelton in that 2 car trying to get away. 2x2 racing further back with the 89 car David Owens trying to see if he can get a run on that top lane. Looks like the 52 of David Buell got a run, got around him. Now it's just the battle for P8 behind him between Buddy Sally in the 21 car and the 28 car of Justin White. These guys trying to get all the positions they can while their tires are fresh and new so that they can settle out into a groove and wait for that first pit stop to happen around lap 40. Lap 40 would be the earliest as the pit window would open for fuel. Think they can do around 47 laps on one tank. Buddy Sally still rocking that top lane, trying to see if he can catch up to the quarter panel of Justin White. Further back in P17 is the 12 car of Dennis Puckett running solid top 20 or 14th, and that top 15 followed behind Chris, or in front of Chris Morrill. Chris trying to do the best he can, get all the positions he can, but this is a playoff race. I believe the top 14 are in the playoffs, with David Medina winning that regular season championship. Back up front, it's still Stiers, Medina, Harris in that top 3 position, all within a couple, maybe 2/10 from each other. Trying to see if any of these guys can catch the 23 car. 23 car has struggled a little bit with getting adjusted to this brand new Cup car. He's rocked and rolled and everything else, from it being the ARCA car to the trucks to the Gen 6 Cup car, winning the championship 2 seasons ago. Back in P10, Eric Thornton passed the 89 car of David Owens, getting into that top 10. Oh, and there's a spin. David Brenner. Brenner hard into the outside wall. Caution out on the speedway. See if we can go back to that incident. I couldn't find it. I guess we're not going to see. We just saw what kind of started all with that wreck happening with David Brenner. We got some takers come to the pit road. Justin White and Sean Cheeseman. Going down into the pits. Looks like Kyle Linnett also went down pit road, maybe? Or at least that's what my timetable was telling me. Trying to get used to all these different features here with SDK. Done it on my end just for my data, but never have done it on a broadcast. So luckily, it seems like it's going well, and field just single file right now until they get settled out for their positions. It looks like they're going double file right now, and the pace car lights are off, so we are going green this time. Green this time. 12 laps completed. Top 5 still Joey Steyr, David Medina, Keith Fallon, Justin Harris, and Brandon Shelton rounding out your top 5. Pace car going down pit road as we get ready to go racing here. Joey Styers takes off, green flags up in the air. Huge launch for the 23 car. Double file back in P3. Justin Harris trying to see if he can get to the inside of David Medina, but he can't quite clear him. David Medina clears, and he's going after Joey. Justin Harris and Keith Fallon. Nose to tail here on the back straightaway. Still settling it out. They're okay running where they're at. Back in P11, big name Chris Morrill in the middle of the pack, racing. We wouldn't be surprised if Chris can move his way up through the field and get the win here today. But one we need to look for in the playoffs, the one car of Eric Thornton, putting them 3 wide going into turn 2 and going down the back straightaway. Big ballsy move out of that one car. Wanting all these positions he can get. Now, I believe the first person that took tires was the 28 car of Justin White, maybe. Does look like he's still on the lead lap, but kind of further behind. Don't really know what happened to Justin, but he's on those new fresh tires. Back up in the first place, David Medina slowly creeping up on the 23 car of Joey Styers, trying to see if he can maybe get to that rear bumper, put a little pressure on him, and maybe get the lead of the race here in the first 20 laps of this race. Back in P12, Thomas Piers, very active in the Bonfire Discord server. Always looking forward to racing on Sundays, making some great paint schemes, running the Cavo K banner on the hood. A lot of progress has been made out of this 46 car. A couple wrecks earlier in his career at Michigan and Darlington and I think Richmond, but so far shown a lot of consistency running up front, running in the top 10. Make sure we keep our eyes out on this 46 car. In front of them, Chris Morrill and David Owens and Justin Malarkey all running single file. Trying to see if who wants to make a move on who, but it looks like David's going to be opted onto the outside lane, letting the 5 car of Chris Morrill by him. Another name we haven't seen often is Brandon Meyer in the number 91 car. He's been running that top groove, been able to get a lot of momentum off that top lane. See if he has anywhere to go. He might try and put him 3 wide. No, he thinks better of it. It's still Joey Stiers leading the field. The gap's now 0.2 of a second between him and David Medina, so the gap's kind of bigger now. Not big enough for him to relax any, but it's definitely these two gonna have to try and beat today if this race goes green for the next 100 laps. P15, Paul Ferdinandi in the number 44 car in the middle of the pack, along with Nick Mills. Looks like Sean Cheeseman and Cody Dorsey. Got a really nice looking paint on that Chevy Camaro. Just running a lot of consistency lately. I believe, if I remember with the points, he barely missed out on the playoffs. Oh no, he's in the playoffs, I think. Yeah, he is in the playoffs. He did get in there, and we have another yellow. Looks like Thomas Piers was caught up in that one. We were just talking about all the consistency he's had. Very unfortunate for him to be involved in this wreck. Let's see what's gone on. He was 3 wide in between Nick Mills and Brandon Meyer. Oh, and just comes down into Nick Mills and into the door of Brandon Meyer. Right on the front straightaway. Very unlucky situation there. Well, we've had 2 cautions in the first 22 laps of this race. Both involving incidents. First with David Brenner being involved, and now the 46 car of Thomas Piers. Now we get to see who will opt to go down to pit road as our pace car is doing a couple somersaults. Looks like David Medina, Eric Thornton, Keith Fallon, Ryan Twynham, Brandon Shelton going down pit road. Followed by David Buell, Chris Morrill, Justin Malarkey, David Owens, Paul Ferdinandi, Brandon Meyer getting repairs done after being in that incident with Thomas Piers. It looks like everyone's coming down pit road except Stiers, Justin Harris. Oh, it also looks like Ryan Twynham also faked them out with Nick Mills. Thought I saw him coming down pit road. Justin White getting out pit road ahead of Eric Thornton as they were racing. Let's see here. Joey Stiers, 22 laps on those tires and fuel. We are guessing maybe lap 47 would be the pit window opening. Obviously, those top 4 probably think that Another wreck's going to happen in that time frame, but we're going to see how big tires play a chance here. I believe it's 3 sets of tires, and fuel is restricted to 78% to make these guys pit 2 times. So we see here, looks like Nick Mills going down pit road along with Ryan Twynham. Late pit road decision there. So they'll be going to the end of this long line of cars on this restart. Those are the different stints. The blue are the second stint that these guys have done. So you can see all these guys on fresh tires and fuel. Oh, didn't mean to show that. Still is Joey Steyer's leading, but he's going to have the 929 car of Justin Harris on his outside. See if Justin can get a run here on this outside lane, but it looks like this lead car has been the control car this entire time. As we see, I believe the lights are still on the pace car. I think this time they'll be getting set up here on a double file. Past couple races, we've seen a lot of clean racing here at these 1.5 miles. Peter likes to say that these guys are really good on these intermediate tracks, but I think the way Las Vegas is kind of configured, it's more of a draft kind of pack, so it's more like there's a lot of nose to tail racing, a lot of runs that can pop up, and we obviously see that in these massive packs. A little bit different here in 1 and 2. There's a little bump down in 2 that can, maybe if you're running the very bottom, you kind of just get a little bump and you can lose a little bit of speed there, but it's a little bit, you kind of got to hit it. You can't really try and miss it or you lose even more time. Looks like the pace car will be coming in once we get back to the front straightaway, and Joey Steyer's will be the control car. As we come out turn 4, pace car's going to dive it down to pit road, and these guys are going to get ready to battle it out for the P1. So we reach the restart zone. Joey Steyers is in control. He takes off. Green flag back in the air here at Vegas. Justin Harris getting ran over. Looked like he missed a shift. Everyone's going to have to split him through the middle. Just didn't look like he got off to a great start. Kind of checked up the entire second lane, that top lane, and kind of chaos ensued. But no caution has come out. He's gone back to P7. Eric Thornton now in that P3 position. This is the guy that can get it done, catch these 2 leaders and add them, put it a 3-man show here as we get going. Gotta remember, David Medina on fresh tires along with Eric Thornton. Joey's still on 22 or 27 lap old tires, and he's just snow plowing in the corners. Has no grip in those tires. Looked like he got a little loose there. Saw the back end kind of stick out. He's falling back to P4. David Medina now the leader here at Vegas. Back in P9, Sean Cheeseman just passed Justin Harris for P9 as he continues to fall back through the field. Sean Cheeseman, one of this series admins, Doing a great job here trying to get into the top 10. Along with his brother Robbie right behind him. See if these two can work together. See if they can get both of them up in the top 10. He's going to slide up right in front of Paul Fernati. Yeah, Sean is just moving his way through the field. Going from bottom to top, still gaining momentum and spots. Looks like David Beal is just going to try and let him have it here as they go into turns 3 and 4. Joey Steyer still continuing to fall back from leading this race back in P6. I'm guessing he's regretting not taking those fresh tires as he continues to fall back. Watch him just split the middle here as they go down the back straightaway. It looked like Sean Cheeseman had to check up. Yeah, he just falls back through the field. Probably a little bit orchestrated. He knows he's not on the freshest tires. He's just going to fall back through the field along with Justin Harris back there. Back in P16, racing along the 73 car of Justin Malarkey is Ryan Twineman, longtime runner in the series, old teammate of mine. Had some internet issues at the start of the season, wasn't able to get into the playoffs, I don't believe. But I know he would have been like racing all season long, being in that championship run. But all he can do now is go trophy hunting, try and collect some wins, get up there. As they did combine both Simbox and Rev, so you got David Buell along with Joey in that chat with him. Along with Justin White. All those guys teammates. David Medina now running away from the field. Has a 2nd and 3/10 gap between him and 2nd place. I don't think David watches the broadcast while he races, but if he does, David, you need to slow down. You gotta give me more action to put on track. David was pretty fast in practice last night with Dennis and David Owens. From what I saw, I think Kyle Lynott was there as well. Really fast, very consistent driver, putting down some fast lap times, doing tire and fuel data, seeing what he needed to do, and obviously he's using that knowledge to his advantage. Battle still heating up for that top 10 position. David Buell with Cody Dorsey in that 84 car just kind of slowly gaining ground on him. Using that middle lane to his advantage, getting a run out of the corner. We also got Buddy Sally and Ryan Twineman right behind him. In front of them, I think it's Paul Fernati running that bottom lane, trying to gain as much ground as they can as he gets the quarter panel of Brandon Shelton for P5. Going to try and get up that top 5 position. I think he could probably do it, maybe coming out of 4. Brandon's going to get down on that quarter panel, trying to hold him up as they catch Chris Morrill up there in P4. Great battles going on right here. Oh, it looks like he blinked out there for a sec. Now he's back. Maybe it was just me. Still racing side by side now for I think 3 laps. All it's doing is hurting both of their tires. Probably does not feel comfortable. He's still kind of blinking in and out. He's going to give Brandon Shelton the position. It's a scary place to be when you start blinking because you don't see anything. Your frames start dropping. So all you can do is let off on the gas and hope for the best. That's all you can do. Now Brandon Shelton being in that 5th position, getting that top 5. But he's bringing the whole pack with him up on the rear bumper of Chris Morrill. See if this draft pack can try and close up the gap between Keith Fallon and Dave Medina. Now a 2.5 seconds of a gap. Joey Stires looks like now is 1 lap down. Had to come down on pit road, get some fresh tires. Realized he made a mistake on his strategy call. Also looks like Justin Hare's also kind of 4 laps down. Looked like he may have just gotten out of the car entirely. Or maybe something transpired. Maybe got a little bit of a toe link damage. Has to get some repairs. Back in P7, Justin White and Robbie Cheeseman racing side by side. Robbie's going to pick that top lane up along the wall, maybe get a run here, coming to the back straightaway. They're going to be side to side. Oh, Justin gets a little loose there down on the apron. Saw him a little bounce there. He's going to give that position up, fall back. Does look now like Keith Fallon is maybe gaining a little bit of ground here on David Medina. Maybe he is listening to the broadcast. Maybe he's trying to give me some action for the lead. Keith also could have been saving his tires a little bit. Lap 40 right now, so if anyone didn't pit under those laps, pit window would be open maybe for the 2-stop. They might have a little bit of fuel left from those 2 cautions that we had. But it does look like Dave Medina kind of used up his stuff early and now is falling back. See how much he gets up on the wheel. Kind of showing it in reverse maybe. Only gets about maybe a quarter of the way, maybe at 2 o'clock. But not putting that much wheel in it, not struggling. So it doesn't look like he's struggling with his tires, just kind of letting the car rotate there. Still running consistent speed up in 185 miles an hour. Definitely letting that car rotate on the bottom. But Keith Fallon still gaining on a race leader. He was a 10th faster that time. So he's definitely gaining maybe a 10th a lap, which is really good. Trying to get the lead here. Teammates between David Medina and Keith Fallon. Some data being shared, some teamwork maybe going on. But there are bonus points up for grabs, especially that lead a lap point and the leading the most lap bonus point. So definitely some extra points on the line. Go along with the 0x race, which most of these guys have, except those who have been caught up in some incidents early in this race. Back in P9, Justin Malarkey gaining on Justin White with that whole pack behind him with Cody Dorsey, Buddy Sally, and Paul Ferdinandi. All fighting for that P10 position. Sound like someone got up in the wall. Don't really know who it was. Thought I heard a little bit of scratching. See, I don't see any scratches on Buddy Sally's car, nor per Paul Ferdinandi. Action still heating up for that first position. gone down by 2/10. Now it's down to 6/10. Behind David Medina, doing everything he can, but the gap's maybe gaining. Maybe he's used up his tires, maybe overheated them. Looks like that gap's going back up. David Medina definitely wanting to keep this this lead. Back in P18, David Owens. Not sure what happened to David, but showing him in 24th maybe. Maybe some bad luck got into him. Maybe had a slow pit stop, got up to the wall. Not really sure what happened with this 89 car. But he always makes a charge back up front. Always somehow gets those top 10s. But definitely important for him to get those top 10s as he's in the playoffs. Has playoff hopes on the line for championship in his first full-time season in the Cup Series. Battle for P4 kind of heating up a little bit with Chris Morrill maybe tracking down Eric Thornton in that one car. He's getting a huge run on that front straightaway going into turn 1. Might have saved his tires just a little bit, keep them cool, while Eric Thornton maybe used them a little bit too hard. That'll also be for that third position for that last spot on the podium, which I know brings a lot of bragging rights when you can be on the podium here on Sunday morning. Chris has a lot of closing speed on that front straightaway. I don't know if Eric Thornton's maybe just getting a bad exit off of turn 4 and losing a lot of speed. I'm not really sure what's going on with that one car. While these guys maybe start trying to battle out, we'll open the door for Brandon Shelton to catch up to these two. Brandon Shelton winning a race here in Richmond after a long no-win streak. I think maybe he went 4 seasons without getting a win. And then he finally won at Richmond earlier this season. Huge win for Brandon Shelton. Big confidence booster. Such a big confidence booster that he didn't show up for 3 races after he won. I don't know if he partied a little bit too hard or what. Looks like we've only got 14 cars still on the lead lap. Maybe 15. Actually, I think yeah, 15 cars still on the lead lap. So, some positions to gain there. Gap still closing in up front. Now down to half a second between David Medina and Keith Fallon. Got a really good exit there out of turn 2, going down the back straightaway. Maybe David's just gotten into some lap traffic that maybe slowed him down. But this 934 car is hustling. Trying to get this lead. 5 laps away from being at the halfway point here in the Bonfire Premier Cup Series on Sunday morning. Really glad you guys are here to watch the broadcast. I know a lot of our drivers like watching. I appreciate you guys giving me the chance to broadcast to you guys this morning, being my first time and being all alone. So hopefully the broadcast is up to par for what you want to see on Sunday mornings. Hopefully next week Pim and Peter will be with me again as we continue to watch these playoffs unfold. as we go to Homestead next week. Kevin Kyle looks like he's come down to pit road, get maybe some fresh tires. Maybe just those tires aren't doing what he wants them to do, so he's just coming down pit road to maybe fix some issues that he has going on in that car. Does look like back in P3 and 4, Chris Morrill and Brandon Shelton passed the one car of Eric Thornton. So now Chris now in that third position. Looks like maybe gaining some time here on the two front runners. I'm not sure if he can gain 3.5 seconds on this run unless something major happens to the two guys in front of him. But he's definitely saved his tires just a bit. Keith Fallon losing a lot of time on David Medina. Maybe a little bit of an arrow push. I know the gap was down to 4/10 there, and you're in that draft, so maybe that could have been the thing that kind of offset his car, maybe upset the nose of it, made it push up into the corner. Or it could have just been Kevin Kyle coming out of pit road. That could have been it too. Not really sure what transpired there. I know he came out of pit road, probably maybe in front of the 24 car or the 934. No, I'm just gonna call him the 24. He's the 24 now. I'm just gonna read his door number. I'm gonna stop looking at the timetable and I'm just gonna look at the numbers on the doors. That's what I'm gonna do. Battle's still going on for P8 between Justin Malarkey and Buddy Sally for P7. These guys have been racing basically all race long side by side, or at least it seemed that way, as they both kind of run up that top lane. Maybe Justin trying to use the air to force Buddy into a mistake, maybe get him up into a fence a little bit. Also, another guy that's gaining some ground on that top 5 position is the 76 car of Sean Cheeseman, gaining some time here on Eric Thornton, who probably used up a little bit of his tires, with Brandon Shelton also in front of him. So we could see Sean Cheeseman get up to that 4th position, having a really good race right now in that Air Canada FOCM paint scheme. Really nice looking paint scheme, especially when you see it from the driver's seat on track. Back in P15, it looked like Gary Wright, long-time driver in the Bonfire series. I believe he may have been one of the original guys here that raced on Sunday mornings. Gained a position off of Robbie Cheeseman. Looked like he was going down pit road getting some fresh tires. I think maybe pit stops will be happening soon. We're seeing a lot of guys pit. Last caution was around lap 22. So definitely getting close on fuel. 42 laps have gone by. I think 43 this time. So these guys are definitely going to want to get some fresh tires, get a little bit of some fuel in there to, I think, start the one out of the 2 pit stops that need to go on. I don't think the guys could pit sometime around now and be able to make it to the end on that same tank. I think they still got 2 more stops in them. Back in P10, Justin White trying to hold off Cody Dorsey and Nick Mills, who's following close behind. Justin trying to show off his grinds, coffee grounds, I think that's what it is. Trying to show off his paint scheme. It looks like that's also Justin Hayes or Harris go along his inside. Probably has fresher tires, just trying to get up there. Gap now down to 2/10 up front. As we get maybe closer to green flag pit stops that will start going on, I believe. So I think Keith Fallon wants to try and pass Medina and then maybe try and do his pit stop, trying to get put out front once they get on new tires. Looks like he's struggling maybe to gain some ground sitting behind Dave Medina. Maybe he's gonna try and switch it up, get some fresh air on that nose, not sit in the wake of this 9 car. Looks like top 10 still on the lead lap. After pit stops, all those guys still need to make their stop for fuel and tires. But the longer these guys stay out, it really probably might help some of the guys that pitted early, like Buddy Sally and maybe Justin White, also who goes down pit road. Nick Mills, Cody Dorsey. I think maybe David Buell. All those guys who are on fresh tires are going to be really fast while these guys go down pit road, going to get their laps back. But the key is going to have to try and hold off these top guys who are going to be on the fresher tires later in the run. Maybe have a little bit extra tire to spare. Approaching lap 70 here. 51 laps left to go in this race. Still a long time. A lot can happen. We still could have another yellow. But it looks like these guys have settled it out. They're kind of just relaxing, trying to gain as much ground as they can. George Jewell running a solid points day for him, running in the middle of the field. I believe, I think he might be in that 21st position, but maybe he had some bad luck on a pit stop with tires and everything. Just kind of running his own race, doing what he needs to do to get her to the end. It does look like Sean Cheeseman has come down pit road. He's gonna make his way, get some fuel and tires. Also looks like Keith Fallon and David Medina coming down pit road, finally getting their fuel and tires after a long battle. It's gonna be interesting to see if Keith can get a really good pit stop here. Maybe try and beat his teammate off of pit road. I think maybe that 84 could have slowed down David Medina, but we'll see how much time he gains. Doing 4 tires and fuel from the looks of it. It's going to cycle up into Chris Morrow leading as they come down pit road with Brandon Shelton. David Medina gets off pit road before Keith does and has a good, decent gap in between them. Almost a second, so David, again, going to try and run away. We know that David's going to cycle out being the leader once all these pit stops maybe start happening. We know Joey Stiers needs to make another stop because he pitted a couple laps before these guys did with that strategy call that they made with not pitting. Did look like Eric Thornton maybe got held up just a bit by Keith Fallon and the lap car of Justin Harris. Maybe slowed him down. He had a huge run coming out of Ford. No incident though. No, I don't think any contact was made, but probably a little, probably crapped himself a little bit there going up on those two. Well, Joey Stiers back out front, leading the race. Right now, just trying to get some laps under his belt. But he is running real slow, almost a second slower than David Medina. So David's going to catch him fast. He's going to probably pass him along the inside on the front or back straightaway. Going to retake the lead. It's become the 75 laps here. Real loose coming out of 4. Not sure what he's finding there in that car to get him real loose there. Keith Fallon back up with David Medina. Back up behind his teammate. Trying to catch up to Joey, and maybe while David goes for Joey, he can do the 2-for-1. Get past both of them and lead this race. Keith still trying to get up front, show him that he can win races, lead laps. Maybe be a playoff upset here, getting the win. Maybe stealing some points from one of these playoff contenders. Yeah, these two are just gaining on the 23 car. 2 seconds faster that time. Joey's going to come down pit road, get some tires. I think that's going to put him back down a lap. Stayed out of the way. Keith Fallon going onto the inside of his teammate David Medina. Maybe try and slide up. He's clear. Keith Fallon now the leader here at Vegas. Now it's just going to be a little game of cat and mouse, trying to keep David Medina behind him, but also not use his tires up completely. I know David really wants that win. He hasn't won that many races recently. He won a couple races with his teammate Chris Morrow early in the season. I believe he's at 4 wins this season right now. He'd love to make it 5. I think he's just going to let his teammate Keith take the lead, make him use up his stuff, and maybe come and snatch that win later in the race. Battle for P9, real hot here as Buddy Sally passes Justin White for that I believe 13th position. I don't know why my timetable is being a little bit delayed, but it is. Four cars under a blanket, I believe. That's Justin White, followed by David Buell and Kyle Lynott in that 97 car, having a really good run back in P14, trying to maybe sneak himself into the top 10. Sean Cheeseman running 4th, has his brother Robbie right in front of him, I believe is a lap down. I think he might just let his brother pass here on the back straightaway. He's going to have to clear him, get up top. Right now, doesn't look, he's at a low entry, so it's going to slow up his speed. Maybe allow Paul Fernandi to kind of close the gap on him. Yeah. Chris Morrow also behind that 44 car of Paul Fernandi, trying to get back into the top 5. As we have a late race caution here, involving David Owens. Go back and see what happened there. Looked like it transpired a little bit out of 4. 91 car just gets loose and comes up into David. 2 cars wreck on that front straightaway. Gets down on the apron. Caution back out here at Las Vegas. Well, Keith Fallon, your leader, followed with David Medina and Eric Thornton, Sean Cheeseman, and Paul Fernandi. And that top 5, Chris Morrow, Brandon Shelton, George Jewell, Buddy Sally, and Nick, or keeps changing on me, trying to give the top 10. Obviously, SDK doesn't want me to give the top 10, so I guess I won't. Couple laps on those tires. So we'll see if anyone decides that they may need some new tires there. Doesn't look like anyone, the front runners. Eric Thornton looks like he's coming down pit road with Sean Cheeseman and Paul Fernandi. Dropping from that 5th position. 11 laps for Keith Fallon and David Medina on those tires. Chris Morrill only 10 laps, so he's got, along with Brandon Shelton, 9 laps for Justin Malarkey. Looks like Nick Mills and Buddy Sally might need to come down pit road for some tires, it looks like. And then 11 laps for Justin White. We go through the field, seeing everyone's great looking paint schemes, especially that Sparco paint scheme for Keith Fallon. Sparco, great brand for fire suits, sim rigs, and seats. Uh, I enjoy their fire suits well when I'm driving my dirt car on Saturday nights. Season ended, so not gonna be using it for a little bit, but great brand if you ever start racing and need a fire suit. Sparco's your brand to go to. Italian made. Nick Mills running his classic uh, Mill in the Sky paint scheme with Mills Insurance on the back. Classic paint scheme. David Brenner, who was got caught up in a wreck there earlier in the race, running his Puma paint scheme. Another classic paint scheme amongst the Bonfire Racing League. And I've got to put it on there for the guys that aren't here. The Cav Racing Network, Pim and Peter broadcasting for Sunday Night Skippy and the Bonfire Premier Cup League. They do great broadcasts, very professional, both of those guys, when it comes to road racing. They know their stuff, and I really enjoy broadcasting with those two, but unfortunately I'm just by myself today, so but shout out to those guys. Great broadcasters. Joey Steyer's in the OSF Healthcare, hometown boy. Just lives half an hour maybe away from me in central Illinois. Sometime I need to meet up with Joey just so that I can shake his hand and say how I wish I could be him. Winning almost all the every ARCA race this season. I think he's got 8 total wins now in the ARCA series. Kind of has that championship wrapped up. Behind him, owner of the league, Dennis Puckett. Started this all off when COVID hit. It's become very fun to race. Has 4 series with Cup, Trucks, ARCA, and I believe Road Racing Series for the GT3s. Big thanks to Dennis Puckett for starting this all and bringing all of us together. Great community here over in the Bonfire Racing League. David Owens in pit road after being involved in that wreck. Looks like he's getting some damage repair as we have no fast repairs. But David, Wednesday nights running an Xfinity League on Wednesday nights with the Quarantine Racing League over there. Got a bunch of guys who race NASCAR Heat 5 on Xbox and now doing World of Outlaws. David said, how about we bring iRacing into this and start an Xfinity League? Had the recruitment race this Wednesday. We actually got to race with Trevor Bain, who drove the 18 car for Joe Gibbs in the Xfinity Series yesterday. Really fun racing with him. A lot of clean racers, and it looked like it getting a great start to the season. Keith Fallon going to take the restart zone here as we go back racing. Lead the field to green as they go into turn 1. Behind them, Chris Morrill and Brandon Shelton double wide with Nick Mills behind them with Justin Malarkey. Gonna see if they can settle it out here. So I believe we've got 45 laps left of this race, almost a whole fuel stint. So I think if you didn't have fuel to make it to the end, you've got fuel now. So that'll probably be the last pit stop that will happen unless we get another caution. But yeah, this is a race for the win as David Medina kind of stalks Keith Fallon on the rear bumper going into one. Keith's just got to remain calm. Remember not to use up his tires, not make a mistake. He wants to get this win here today. Ryan Twyman running in that 8 position in that 8 car. Having a really solid top 10 run. Gonna see if he can gain some ground here. Maybe make it into a top 5 day. Associate teammate Justin White from Ryan running right behind him, trying to hold off Eric Thornton, a fast guy who kind of used up his tires later in that run. But luckily he gets a fresh slate this time. Too wide back there in front of Dennis Puckett with Cody Dorsey and Thomas Piers. This is the pack that will be the most racy. A lot of racing will be going on in it, as a lot of guys will be trying to make their way up through the field. Looks like most of them are a couple laps down, but they still want to try and race and show off that they can race hard. Kyle Lynott making the pass on the top lane on Justin White. Going to use that momentum here in turns 1 and 2. Try and get a run down the back straightaway. "31 laps left remaining in this race. And it's still Keith Fallon up front, but followed by David Medina, Brandon Shelton, Nick Mills, and Chris Morrill. Two by two for P4, Nick Mills and Chris Morrill with Ryan Twyman right behind him. Looks like Ryan's going to help his old teammate, Nick Mills, reigning champion, as we get another yellow. Not sure who it was for. Maybe the 84 of Cody Dorsey. Not really sure who it was. Oh, Thomas Piers again. Flipping up and over. See what transpired there. Started off with Joey Stiers. Kind of got loose and everyone started to go up and just started flipping down the back straightaway. Thomas Pierce was. So he's going to get some more repairs. People coming down pit lane. Top off on fuel, probably no tires. Nick Mills being that first one to come down pit road. This is going to be the call. Hopefully, they're hoping that no more cautions happen today. It looks like everyone's coming down pit road, so very busy pit road. Looks like Justin Hare's got the yellow dog. He's going to be back up on the lap. Nick Mills coming down pit road. He's going to be in, looks like, the 11th position. So still close to that top 10. He's going to have some fuel in there behind him, Ryan Twyman. But these three guys, Joey, Nick, and Ryan, old teammates, work together. Nick went and made his own team, Left Rev Racing. Has a couple guys with him, with Buddy Sally, Dennis, Eric Thornton, George Jewell. All those guys now in the the new team Red Line Racing. Nick Mills having a that's the guy that's always trying stuff out with strategy, seeing if it works out for him. We saw it work out there for him in Michigan, I believe, earlier in the season. Looks like still single file, so we're waiting on some guys for pit stops and everything. Looks like Gary Wright went back into the pits. Finally, pit lane open for him. Gonna put some tires on and maybe some fuel as he leaves pit road now. Along with Justin Harris, who just got that lucky dog uh, back now on the lead lap. Looks like 20 cars still on the lead lap out of 27. So, really good running here at Las Vegas, Nevada. Only having 7 guys down on a lap down. I think the lights on the pace car will go off this time, and they'll stack it up. So we got one more lap. It'll be lap 96 when we go back racing. So I think that might be 25 more laps of racing left here at Las Vegas. I think everyone maybe used their tires, maybe not Medina, Keith, Brandon, Chris, Sean, Eric, Kyle, and not Justin White, Kevin Kyle, and Joey Stiers. I don't think. Think they may still have one set of tires back in the bank, while everyone behind them, I think, is maybe swapped out for this final 20 lap run. Get ready to go out of turn 4. Pace car's going to dive it down. Down on pit road, Keith Fallon going to lead the field to green as we have 25 laps of racing left here at, 25 laps of racing left here. Green flag out. It's for the win. Great start out of that 24 car. Dave Medina has been real strong on going through 1 and 2 on these restarts. Gaining a lot of time here, down to 2/10. Creeping up on the rear bumper of Keith Fallon. Brandon Shelton behind him, followed by Chris Morrill and Eric Thornton in P5. Sean Cheeseman on the inside of Eric Thornton coming out of 4. Try to keep it off his door, race clean. Try and get the position as they go into 1. Chris Morrill in front of them, trying to get back up to his teammates, maybe help him out. Eric Thornton using that momentum on the top lane to get past both of these cars, maybe a 2-for-1 as they go into 4. Joey Stiers also back in P10 behind his teammate and in front of his teammate Justin White. Going to see if they can move their way up through the field. Nick Mills, first guy to get new tires, up to P7 using that top lane. Dave Medina taking over as the leader of the race while we were watching all that battling go on as we approach lap 99 here at Las Vegas. 22 laps left to go here. Nick Mills trying everything he can. Back up to P5. Eric Thornton back in P3, trying to make the pass on Brandon Shelton. Then work his way up on Keith Fallon. Run nose to tail. He's got the top lane. Gap in front now 2.5 tenths. 3 wide as they come out of 4. Nick Mills splitting the 2. Nick Mills up to 3rd. Half a second separates Nick Mills and the race leader David Medina as there's 21 laps of racing left. Joey Stires up on the rear bumper of Chris Morrill back in P8. This is a huge pack right here, draft pack. Joey's going to try and thought about going below his teammate, going into 1. Chris Morrill getting a run on Keith Fallon up on that top lane. Eric Thornton now battling for the win. Looked like he shoved maybe David Medina up the racetrack. 19 laps to go here at Las Vegas. Nick Mills gonna try and make the move up on the top side here. 1 and 2 losing a little bit of ground. That huge pack between Keith, Brandon, Joey, and Chris kind of slowed them down. Now they're second behind this top 3. Nick Mills gonna throw it to the bottom, going into 1. Try and clear this 1 car. He's clear. But watch the run of this 1 car coming out of 2. Huge run. Gonna come to the rear bumper. Gonna maybe dive it to the bottom. No, he's gonna stay right there. Stay right behind that car. Further back in P9, Justin Malarkey making the move. Try and get past Chris Morrill. As the huge mess in front of them try and fight it out themselves. Joey Stires up to P6. Going to try and make the move maybe on Brandon Shelton. Maybe try and throw it into the bottom. Ryan Twyman up to P4. Gaining on David Medina. Keith getting a little loose there out of 4 with Justin Malarkey on his outside. Brandon getting a run out of 2 down the back straightaway. Up front, it's still Nick Mills leading with his fresh tires. As we come to 15 laps to go this time, it's still Nick Mills, Eric Thornton, and Ryan Twyman, your top 3. Ryan trying to gain on his old teammate. Joey Stires completed the pass on Brandon Shelton on the back straightaway as Brandon gets up to the wall a little bit. Justin Malarkey still behind Joey, trying to get as much ground as he can. Looks like 6, 7, 8 cars maybe under a blanket for maybe trying to get that 4th position. But Ryan Twyman making the move on Eric Thornton for P2. Eric's going to have the momentum on this top lane. Going to maybe clear Ryan. Ryan maybe try and get to that quarter panel. Ryan Twyman now P2 with new tires. Loose out of 2. Saved it. Buddy Sally back in P8, completing the pass on Brandon Shelton. Move his way up through the field. Make his way trying to catch up to David Buell and Joey Stires. Looked like Joey's maybe used up his tires just a little bit. Let David Buell get the pass on him. Justin Malarkey in P5. Still up front, Ryan Twyman trying to catch up to Nick Mills on the back straightaway. 0.3 of a gap as we come to 11 laps here to go, still at Vegas. Gap's now down to a 10th. Ryan right to the rear bumper of Nick. Gonna try and throw it to the bottom. I think Nick may still have the advantage with that top lane on the outside here. Gonna get a run down the front straightaway. They're gonna be side by side coming to the stripe. Looked like maybe Nick led that lap. Going into 1 and 2. Nick still on that top lane. Ryan can't quite get a run. Nick's still going to get the advantage coming onto these straightaways off that top lane. All this is helping as Eric Thornton gain time on these two as these two battle it out. Ryan trying to hold it to the bottom the best he can, trying to clear this 88 car. It looks like he got a decent run. He's clear. Ryan Twyman, leader at Vegas, coming to 8 to go. Justin Malarkey making his way also up to the field. Nick Mills back on the outside. A little bit of door banging. Nick Mills with the advantage. Gonna clear this 8 car. Justin Malarkey and Eric Thornton right behind though. Ryan's getting a little tight going up towards the wall. Dives it to the bottom. Here comes Justin Malarkey. Huge run out of this 8 car. Coming to 3. He goes to the bottom. Side by side again going into 4. Gonna slow them both down. Eric Thornton loose. 6 laps left to go here at Vegas. Advantage to the 73 using that top lane. Looked like Ryan blinked out just a little bit. David Buell up to 4th. Nick Mills running away as there's 5 laps of racing left. Nick Mills, Ryan Twyman, Justin Malarkey, your top 3, all under a blanket. Any of them could get the win. 4 laps of racing left. Looks like Justin Malarkey's getting the run on Ryan as they go into 3. Can Justin Malarkey clear this 8 car? Maybe have a little bit of help from this 52 car of David Buell. Gap's now half a second. 3 laps left to go. Here comes Justin Malarkey. Gaps down to 3/10. Coming through 3 and 4. Nick Mills only has 3 miles separating him from his victory at Las Vegas. Gaps now half a second between Nick Mills and Justin Malarkey. Justin able to gain a little bit of momentum off that top lane. 1 lap to go for Nick Mills and his playoff win. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. Nick Mills gonna hold the lead after a late race caution, pitting for new tires. Nick Mills, your winner at Las Vegas. Justin Malarkey and David Buell, 2nd and 3rd. Ryan Twyman and Dave Medina, 4th and 5th. Cody Dorsey, Paul Ferdinandi, and 6th and 7th. Eric Thornton, Buddy Sally, 8th and 9th, and Joey Stiers in that 10th place position. Chris Morrill and Justin White, Keith Fallon, Buddy Sally, 11th through 14th. Kevin Kyle, David Owens, and George Jewell, 15th, 16th, and 17th. Nick Mills getting the win here today, going to put him at the top of the leaderboard for the playoffs. He bumps the wall a little bit. Let the burnouts commence. That late race caution definitely helped Nick Mills with those fresh tires gain an advantage on that restart. Went from, I think, 11th to 7th. I think he's stuck on the apron. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up here for Las Vegas for the first race here in the playoffs. There is your finishing position out of the top 18. Nick Mills getting the win with Justin Malarkey and David Buell on the podium with him. A lot of racing going on in those last 10 laps. A lot of lead changes between Nick Mills and Ryan Twyman. Ryan, of course, coming home 4th with David Medina salvaging a top 5 finish. Oh, and I'm actually surprised there's actually people in here. I didn't hear them join. Well, let's see. Let's go down the list. Nick, our winner. That was a lot of racing there at the end. It looked like a lot of battling going on between your old teammate Ryan. Tell me how those last 10 laps felt for you.
They were fun but stressful. Felt like if I kept the outside line that he would it'd burn his tires up on the bottom because I ran the bottom in the NIS race yesterday, which in the previous car and in the trucks that I run a lot, the bottom is the tire saving mode. But running the bottom in this car at this track, I don't know if it's because the bumps or what, but it really eats your tires up. So I just wanted to hold the top until we could get his tires hot, and he'd start slipping off the corner exit, and then we've outlet a couple guys back in it. So I fell behind him, and then he got loose in like the very next corner. So I had to take my shot to get on by. And then he got side by side with Malarkey, and that kind of let me seal the deal.
Yeah, it was great racing. That entire last lap, I was up on the edge of my seat, just calling it by myself. I couldn't live stream it, so I'm just recording it for the moment, so I'll upload it later. So, but yeah, that was exciting to watch there at the end. Let's see here. David Medina salvaged a top five. You read the race almost the entire time. Kind of got made some contact with that one car later in that last stint. Kind of forced you to the rear, but you had a strong race. Looked like you had your teammate in front of you. How'd that race go for you?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You really got to drive these cars on this track, so you got your hands full. First few laps, you can go ahead and drink your coffee, but after that, you better be ready to go because, she starts becoming a handful. But it was a lot of fun. Really enjoy racing with these guys. I'm not really sure what happened with Eric Thornton and myself, so I'll have to, watch the replay and take a look at it and see if any conversations are needed. But all in all, top five finish, can't complain. Good car. Should have probably stopped, got tires that last one, but got to roll the dice, see what happens. So didn't work out in our favor, but still a good finish.
Yeah, absolutely. Great race all race long, and you were really the car to beat there at the start of the race. You were really fast, but yeah, top five. That must feel good going into playoffs. The number 44 car of Paul Ferdinandi. I know I butchered your name almost all recording long, but you came home P7. You were in the middle of the pack almost the entire race, racing all race long, really hard, side by side action. How's your arms feel after that?
Yeah, this car on this track is a lot of fun. It's actually probably my favorite combo. You really got to drive the car. There's so many good drivers in this league. I'll take seventh all day. Want to apologize. Apparently, I was blinking. I had no indication on my end there. I was going to the front, and I'm like, why am I passing these guys? Apparently, I was blinking, so that was probably the reason. In the middle of the race, but yeah, I love this track with this car. It's probably my favorite combo on the sim. But yeah, my teammates weren't here today. I just want to say shout out to Rob Chowdhury. He just had a new baby girl, Malia. Hope he gets to see this, and congratulations and to the healthy, happy baby. So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looked really fun for you. Ryan Twyman coming home P4. Almost had the win in your hands coming to 7 to go, I think. And I mean, I was really hoping that you maybe had a little bit of tire left, but it looked like your tires were a little bit overheating. But yeah, that last run was really strong for you. Tell us how it went.
Yeah, all race long, I had a pretty decent shot. I kind of screwed the pooch on pitch strategy on that second run and lost track position, so I was just kind of riding. And then that last pit stop, Nick went in. I said, "I'll try it. I got nothing to lose. I'm not in the playoffs, so I was just trying to be a teammate player and get up there and steal the win from Nick to get him, getting a little less points. And then once he slid back by me, I didn't want to. He's obviously a next teammate. If I can't win it, I'd rather have a next teammate win it. So good win for Nick. It was fun battling him most of the race. And then I saw Buell was behind me, and being a teammate of mine, tried finding that sweet spot to get David sandwich. So I got him an extra point and kept David behind me barely.
Yeah, it looked like you had a little bit of contact with Nick on the front straightaway, just racing hard. But yeah, that was great side by side racing. I knew it was gonna be a little bit of friendly battle with you guys being old teammates. But it definitely showed on track that you guys have a lot of respect for each other.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, Nick went off and started a team with Dennis. We tried splitting the team in twos, and then they've gotten pretty strong over the last couple seasons. And we joined up with Simbox since you're in the booth, and I'm just trying to figure out this card during the playoffs, and hopefully I can have a better run next season.
Yeah, I'm kind of really glad that I hopped into the booth. I was able to get this recording down for you guys. So a little bit luck there. Finally, Thomas Pierce. I know I was talking about you during the broadcast. A lot of consistency going on with you, and then unfortunately you had those incidents out on track. But you looked really strong today, racing up through the field. Just a little bit of bad luck came your way.
Yeah, what I was trying to save my tires for the entire race. Actually, I was planning on giving it my all on the last 20 laps, but unfortunately, I didn't make it to the last 20 laps. But it was a great race, anyways. I really enjoyed racing all of you guys. Looking forward to next week, and hopefully better luck.
Yeah, going to Homestead next week. Thomas, you got any shout outs that you'd like to give out as we kind of wrap up this recording?
Well, shout out to you guys, the drivers of the Bonfire Racing League. Uh, it's been a great uh few weeks. I've not been here for long, but I really enjoy being here with you all, and great racing.
Yeah, it was a lot of good racing all race long. Ryan, any shout outs for you?
Yeah, first and foremost, congrats to Nick. Hell of a run. Him and I were with each other 90% of the race. Joey, heck of a recovery after his wrong strategy call. He gets a top 10. He was hoping for a last one. Same with Justin White. Hopefully, we can get those guys a championship. And David Buell too, a top 3. Good run for him too.
Yeah. The number 44 caller, Paul Fernandi. Any shout outs from you?
Just to my coast to coast teammates that couldn't make it today, but they're very supportive, give me some tips all along the way, and again, like I said, congratulations to Rob and his new baby.
Awesome. And finally, the number 9 car, favorite almost every single race, Dave Medina. Any shout outs from you?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to my teammates and also congratulate Nick on the win and just Malaki for runner up. But yeah, I want to thank my teammates over at Fulcum, just the communication we continue to have during the races and stuff. So appreciate all that input. Want to thank my sponsors, Cabo K and Honeybee Acres. Appreciate y'all sponsoring the car, and yeah, really enjoyed this race. And thanks for those that will be watching the broadcast.
Yeah, the great racing all race long. I'm ready to wrap up this broadcast. I'm tired of being alone and talking to myself, so I'm gonna have to go talk to some actual real people after this. But yeah, great racing all race long, and hopefully I can get this recording settled out and edited, and we can have a good broadcast since I wasn't able to live stream it today.